also post in the forums too. There's forums for Sex in the Kitty, and you can post your questions in there too. Like I say, everything's always available on the website. And you can actually do me personally. Well, send your questions to me personally. There we go with that Freudian stuff again. Always on the website or ktaylor@htla973.com. So today's mail is a great one. And I think that at some point couples struggle with this, because it's a boy thing versus a girl thing. So I think this is going to have universal appeal. But here's the letter that I've gotten, that I've chosen out of all the letters that I've gotten to answer this week. Dear Kitty, I have a sensitive problem. My wife is a very sexy, impish, and playful type that has a very definite idea of her identity. She's been in a public eye capacity for almost all of her life and says she's finally arrived to a comfortable place with herself. Obviously, I not only respect her for that, but I love the girl she is when we're home and living our domestic life. However, we're always arguing because I want only to see her beautiful self in lingerie at least once in a while. But she feels like it's silly to have to dress up at home, too. She's way more comfortable in jeans or cute pajamas, and since I love her so much, don't want to do anything to make her feel uncomfortable. But I also so much want to get her things I'd love to see her in and to have her wear them just for me. What else can I do? Signed, Gotta Have Garters. Gotta love that. Love that signature. That was awesome. Thank you. Okay. Dear Gotta Have Garters. Well, this is a dilemma, and I can certainly sympathize with both you and your wife's position because I myself struggle with the same problem. And once kids are in the mix, it makes it even more difficult. What do I mean? Well, firstly, understand that there's probably nothing more that your wife wants than to feel as comfortable and sexy in what you'd like to see her wear as she does in what she prefers to wear. The bottom line is likely that she just doesn't feel as sexy dressed like that as you think she looks. Now, don't be disheartened, however, because, as always, I have the perfect solution. Just listen to me and you'll be fine. First, start slow. Start with lingerie that's styled more like the pajamas she likes to wear. Sexy tops and bottoms or short baby doll dresses. Whatever it is, you can find a lingerie translation somewhere online that you'll both love. After a time or two of that, and especially if it goes well, I'm sure she'll be enthused enough to try more risque things for you, like garters and stockings and heels. And before long, the full regalia may be something she looks forward to for you. The second trick to making this work, though, is to designate a time for her to dress this way at first, so she feels like she has an out if it makes her too uncomfortable. Let's say that one night a week, Sunday, let's say, and wink, wink to my hubby and producer because he knows what our Sundays are all about. After dinner and the kids are in bed early, make it all about your special night. The important thing is that you do it together, keeping the core of your loving relationship intact and making this addition just another special facet of it. And of course, as always, communicate, communicate, communicate. So write back and let me know how it goes. And I wish you luck because this is a good thing. And, I'll tell you a little something about women too. We're like onions. There's layers and you have to peel them. And there's layers of resistance to things. And, it all goes back to the topic of this week. We might feel completely and utterly confident in our business lives, in our cooking skills, in our parenting skills, and in whatever else it is we do. But there's always going to be areas where our esteem is lower than in others. And, if you can recognize that, and if there's any kind of resistance that your partner has, and this goes for both sexes, to doing something or trying something, always firstly take into consideration that it might be an esteem issue in this area, that they're not feeling quite as confident as you hope they would. And just be gentle about it and give it time and work with it and discuss it and, create that supportive, encouraging environment that promotes that kind of esteem and go from there. So remember me, send your questions to me, ktaylor@htla973.com or tweet me your questions at thekitty973. And again, the forum's on the website, 973.com, htla973.com. Oh, everybody's favorite segment now. And I find it a good one. It's a crazy, stressful season. And I don't think this could have been more well-timed. It's time for my top 10 sex tidbits of the week. Now, since this really is a sex show, I always finish off my weekly session with you on a lighter note by throwing in my top 10 sex tidbits of the week. And tonight we're counting down, and it's top 14. So many, so good that I've had to make it a top 14. The top 14 foolproof ways to get into the mood. Let's face it, and like is my season mantra here on Sex and the Kitty, reality kills what's real. And you may very well be looking at your girl or man right now thinking how lucky you are, how damn sexy he/she is, and how much you just want to destroy her/ or for him to destroy you 50 ways from Sunday right now. But you're just not in the mood down there. Well, because this is a very important subject, like I said, I'm extending this list of 14 for you this week. So listen up. All right, number 14, get some work done. This is especially important for women who manage a house and tasks, long after that 5 p.m. whistle blows. We're 24/7. We just don't get a break. We don't get a day off. It just doesn't end. But what you have to do is whatever you can each day to make sure your laundry's done, the bills are sorted, the email's answered. Do whatever it takes to feel relaxed enough to get turned on. And no one can get relaxed when they're thinking of all the tasks and stuff they've got piled up. So, if you at least make a bit of an effort towards each of these things each day, it's going to go a long way. So make sure you try and do that. Number 13, kind of along the same lines, keep your bedroom and wherever else you get busy most organized and tidy. If you're in a messy, cluttered space, you can't really relax and get in the mood. The sense of accomplishment and having everything in its place will also help to make you want to get in the mood. So you got to keep that in mind too. Number 12, work out. Anything you can do to make yourself feel good about yourself will help to put you in the mood. Now, tips from Kitty here. Never overdo it. If all you can do today is 5 crunches and 7 reps of squats to get that bum in shape, then feel good about doing just that. Tomorrow or the next day, you'll be doing 7 crunches and 10 reps of those squats because you won't be sore from rushing into it, and you'll be proud of yourself for sticking to it. Little bits at a time. Small goals equal big goals. And everybody should do some kind of working out, whatever it is. Even if it's just going for a walk around the block every day. So that leads to number 11. Work out together. You will instantly feel bonded by doing something healthy together. Hubby and I walk around the block every day after dinner if it's beautiful weather out, and, make sure to get out of our chairs in the office at least every hour and do something, reconnect a little bit with each other, have lunch together, not in the office at our desks, that kind of thing. So that's, if working out together is not an option, definitely do something together like that. And all the exertion, though, that you'll release when you work out together, it'll release the endorphins that you can immediately put to your advantage as soon as you're done. So don't forget that. That might be a good motivator to get working out and get working out together. Resolution time is coming. So, number 10, watch your spouse with your kids. Studies show that watching your spouse play with or care for your children evokes a primary evolutionary drive. And nothing gets the juices going more strongly than that. So along with that, number 9, watch your partner in their natural element. Just like the last one, seeing your husband do yard work or watching your wife whip up your favorite tasty dish evokes that primal physiological response that you've chosen a competent and strong in their role mate. And of course, that's going to, kick that mating thing into overdrive, even subconsciously and unconsciously. It's hardwired into us. So do those things. Pay particular attention. I actually did this afternoon. My husband was changing our son, and he lifted him up, and he kissed him on the forehead, and my 14-month-old son stopped for a second and leaned his head forward again so my husband could kiss him on the forehead again. And then he did, and then Tristan did it again. So for like 4 minutes, I watched my husband repeatedly kiss my son on the forehead because that's what he wanted. And it was just so awesome, and it was just one of those moments, one of those perfect moments, Hallmark cards, they only exist in moments. But it's stuff like that. You have to pay attention to that stuff. It's important. Okay, number 8, go out together socially and engage in harmless flirting. I'm a little on the fence about this one. I guess it could be tricky unless you're pretty rock solid in your relationship. Studies do show, however, especially if it's clear from events that others find your partner desirable, that a little jealousy can go a long way to jacking up the desire level. It's very important to know where to draw the line, though, and to make sure you go home together, right? So I guess that's just a good way of knowing whether it's a good thing. Number 7, give your partner a long hug. This is a really good and interesting one, actually. Research has found that hugging your partner for at least 30 seconds can increase your desire for something more. Especially for women, this is really, really interesting. Hugging for 30 seconds or more releases oxytocin, the hormone that makes us relax and feel more trusting. And everyone knows that a woman has to feel safe with a partner to be able to become aroused. For men and women, take a few deep inhales of your partner's neck during those 30 seconds, because that scent is a proven aphrodisiac. All right, number 6, keep it above the belt for 20 minutes or more. Now, wow, this is an important one for boys to get, like totally. Non-physical stimulation, i.e. sexual innuendo and conversation, as well as other arousing activities that are not sex for at least 20 minutes, but preferably as often in your daily relationship as possible, right? Because you live together, you're married, you do all this stuff together. No need to just, put it into 20 minutes or whatever, live that way. Before starting actual sexual relations, creates that necessary heightened sense of intimacy and stimulates dopamine, the hormone that drives sexual arousal. So, what can we get from this important one, kids? No setting the environment equals no dopamine, which equals no arousal. All right, number 5. Share and engage your sexual fantasies. Like I always say, the brain is the biggest sex organ and the absolute center of arousal, especially for women. In order to be turned on, human beings need both mental and physical stimulation. You must be able to share the things that turn you on most without fear of rejection or disapproval in your relationship, no matter what. If you can't do that, expect a relationship that's only a percentage as fulfilling as it can and should be. It's a very important one. So, work on it. If not, if you need help, look into it. But it's a very critical thing that you do that. Surface relationships don't survive. And if they survive, they're not fulfilling. And if they're not fulfilling, they're not healthy and authentic. So remember that. And if you can't talk, then, what's after? Okay, number 4, give it 10 minutes. Pull yourself out of your rut and do some of the things on this list or whatever it takes for 10 minutes. You'll find you're very likely to see your body catch up with your mind or your mind catch up with your body if you try and do some of these things that are promoting, that arousal. Number 3, we're getting down the wire here. Change something. Make just one small aesthetic change to how you have or approach sex, and you'll create a feeling of newness that can bring back the same level of excitement as when you first met. Different place, different position, whatever it is. Change something. The smallest thing. Wear your hair different. Different perfume. If one partner usually initiates it, surprise them. Do something else. But change one thing. And this is really important for couples that have been together for a long time and their routines are really established. It's very important to do those things. This is a great one. Number 2, start without them. Ugh. If only that were possible for me. But my universe revolves around my man, so. If you're finding yourself struggling to get your bits caught up with your desire to do it, then rev your own engine before the race. Before long, you'll want a second for the rest of the trip. At least that's what they say. And number 1, most critical thing, foolproof way to get aroused, fantasize and visualize. As before, and the point that I cannot emphasize enough, your brain has to go there in order for your body to. Create a mental library of fantasies and memories that you can fall back on to get you going before you fall into your other's arms. And you'll be halfway there, and the rest will be amazing. And yeah, actually, I can't believe it. I thought I was going to run long with my show tonight, but wow, seems like I've just brought it in.